Hi everyone. Just a little look at what's going on in my sketchbook right now. The sketchbook I'm using is an Aqua Super Deluxe sketchbook and a 6x6 size. The pen I ended up really liking for this is this Pilot V-Ball Extra Fine. Now I'm going to go to another page where I've done a couple other sketches of leaves with this pen and add some watercolor. So these sketches have been dry for quite a while, so I'm not sure that we're going to get a lot of wash effect from the black pen. But one thing you can do is when the watercolor's wet, or when the page is wet, you can go back with the pen and add some detail. So we'll see what happens there. Now in my palette, I have a sap green color, but I actually like to mix my greens. So I'm going to be using some, this is a Windsor Lemon, and then this is a Cerulean, to get kind of a bright spring green, and then I'll go in and darken it later. So I've got some of each of those here. And kind of give each leaf a base of that color. That rose leaf is actually going to be much, much darker because even in early spring, those are coming out really dark. Okay, now I'm going to get a little darker here with some of these and maybe pick up a little ultramarine, see what happens there. Let's actually go with the rose leaf first, and that's really dark green. Now there's a lot of water in here, so I think I'm going to have to keep darkening that. We will see in a minute. Grape leaf, that's still pretty bright. I'll just try a little sap green in that. All right, we'll come back to that one in a minute. I don't want to overwork everything. Okay, this is actually, okay, I'm kind of liking that one. And then this, come in to find the edges a little more. Yeah, that's kind of it. It's got like this very dark edge going on, but just at the edge. And the apricot leaf also has, down at the bottom, it's got these little tiny, these two spots here, I'll have to wait till the rest of this dries, but these are actually kind of quite these very red little dots on each leaf right down here. All right, now that's getting too, okay, let's mush that up a little more. Get some variation in there. It's getting a little too bland. Here we go. Hit it with a little dark there. Too much. Some color going in the stems. These apple trees have little leaflets coming out. Okay. All right. And while this page is wet and while the paint is nice and wet, I can reinforce some of this detail. The other thing about the rose leaf is actually it's going to be, it's quite red on the edges. It's got this dark red. So I have to think about how I want to handle that. Okay, so the rose. Now with that, okay, I have a very rose color here. Okay, so those have dried quite a bit. I'm going to put in the names of the leaves, and I've penciled them in lightly, and I'll just go over them with a black pen. I've just added a little bit of darker edge to the apricot leaf, the grape leaf, I'm just going to do a really quick glaze over this whole area. Not there, okay. Just to kind of unify it a little bit. There's a lot of contrast going on, and I don't want quite that much contrast, so giving it a little bit of smoothing. Gotta work really fast on that, so I don't want to reconstitute everything on there. And then actually I'm going to pull back a little bit of that, so it's not quite so. And I'm going to get some imprint from the paper towel, probably in texture, but that's actually kind of okay. Kind of like that. Okay, that is my grape leaf. And so that is a quick look at today's sketchbook.